even though WE collapsed, got
scaling team composition. They do want to fight with item spike. We are looking at the AP Kaisa as the main source of damage for them. So that will be Guinsoo's Rage Blade into Nashor's Tooth, and then she can really start to come online. But for most of the early game, however, TOP's champions are stronger by nature. However, they haven't found good opportunities to snowball them, even with a good start.
No, they have not just yet. Good start for them, but I need to find a good concrete advantage against Team WE, who are grouped up as 4 inside a brush just close to red. Cat kind of assumes that they're going to be here, throws out the Winter's Bite, doesn't connect with everyone, but forces Team WE out of the jungle. Now moving towards mid lane. Seer on Lulu, 174 CS, 30 above Gung, picks up a banner of command first. He's going to be very support-oriented, which is going to help out Gentle. You already said it's going to be the AP Kaiser building towards the Nashor's Tooth right after Rage Blade, going for AP items next, but buffed up by a Lulu, protected by Alistar. It's going to be a late-game monster for Team WE.
Oh yeah, and so far we've not seen any plays come out from Goon. The only play we remember from him is him getting kicked in the face by Kondi. And Zoe is that type of a champion that does need to snowball. They do need to find can set up team composition
well in lane, push quite aggressively, give Gung some time to rotate around the map, get to the small skirmishes, which we didn't see too much of on TOP. They controlled most of the jungle, but could never find picks against Team WE. And Kondi, despite falling behind in terms of jungle camp, he's still behind by about 30 CS. He's picked up 3 assists, giving 2 over to his bottom lane, 1 to the mid lane of Seer, making sure that Team WE are scaling nicely into the mid game, and hopefully that seems to be what Team WE want to pick fights against TOP.
And that's exactly what you want to do when you're fighting against the Graves. Most of the time, you're not going to get the farm lead against him. It's near impossible. So you want to equalize the map with ganks, and this is what Akani has done really well. He's fell behind 2 levels at one point, able to find himself the edge back for his team, just with ganks through mid and bot.
He's also been able to equalize that level advantage. He said he was 2 levels behind earlier. He was about 1 just then, but finally capitalizing the ganks that he's got, equalizing his CS by taking out a couple of scuttle crabs, a couple of camps on XX's side of the map. We're still waiting to see if TOP can pick a fight for themselves. But that window is slowly running out against Team WE, it seems. Especially with Baron coming up in the next 23 seconds. TOP are looking to try and see if they can take down a bottom lane outer turret. XX dashes over the wall, looks to get some damage, but everyone from Team WE is slowly collapsing as well.
Doesn't look like they're going to get it. They're going to stay here and try to fish for a couple more bubbles coming out from Goon, see if they can make a pick. But unfortunately, doesn't look like it.
WE successfully repelled TOP, and that bottom lane outer turret still stands with a sliver of health. Gold is steady, 32,000 both of these teams. 2 turrets apiece, 3 kills for WE, only 1 going with TOP. But yet to see any major clashes. It seems like both of them just rotating across the map. First it was bottom lane. XX is still moving throughout his jungle, clearing what is remaining in his jungle, such as Krugs at the moment. Whereas for WE, they are doing the exact same thing, just clearing up their map, clearing up wards, and waiting quite patiently, it seems.
And the problem with TOP is they just can't go into WE's jungle at this point. They haven't found a way to split WE's team comp apart. They've picked the Aatrox for the split push, but there was a really good counter answer from 957, going for an uncharacteristic Jax pick. And if we look at Marin right now, he's never found an opportunity to really just shove and then leave lane to create a numbers advantage elsewhere. And that's really slowing down the pick hop from TOP.
He already has the Titanic Hydra picked up to increase the wave clear potential of Aatrox. And they're still isolated in that 1-on-1 lane against 957. Teleports are available for both these top laners, so they can jump to the team fights. Cholchol has his own as the AD carry for TOP, and WE's carries of CS and Gentle both have their own teleports. So we can see members fly across the map in a couple of seconds of notice, but nothing much happens. Just clearing waves, taking their time, This is not quite what we've seen throughout the majority of this meta. We've seen a lot of early game fights. But by this point of the game, there should be at least 15 kills. I only see 4 coming.
Yeah, well, this is WE style. They do like to play slow and steady. They're one of the few teams we have that, on average, lose faster than they win. They definitely prefer the late 35, 30-minute game, and it's hardwired into them to play around their carries.
We're getting closer to it, but Infernal Dragon has spawned. Gentle's even teleporting onto a control ward just out of vision to make sure he's there for the fight against TOP. Picked up the Nashor's Tooth, a crucial item breakpoint for Kaiser. Has Lulu as well, and Condi picks up Infernal Dragon. XX wanted to contest for that, but was not successfully able to do so. Meanwhile, it's going to be Mara going for a flank in the back lines. Condi kicks him over the wall. He's not able to get that flank, but Sia is going to fall. Gentle trying to disengage. Another member of Team W bites the dust. That's 3 kills being picked up by TOP. The flank, it works out for TOP. They take down WE.
The disaster strikes on the bottom side. They actually kick Aatrox into Gentle, and Gentle is actually forced out of the fight after being tagged by one of Goon's bubbles right there. So a good startup for TOP, landing the skill shots they need, getting the flank they wanted, and really forcing W to pay a dear price for that Infernal.
Was a WE were trying to protect from the front side of the pit close to the mid lane, but not only did they lose 3 members, yes, they give the Infernal Dragon over, but they pick up Baron buff just 23 minutes into the match, something that TOP love to do historically.
And that's just a massive win for TOP. The really important thing about W is they have to have a unified front. If you're thinking about Alistar, you're thinking about Lulu, they need to push up in one way, and the early bubble really forces W completely out of position. They no longer have a formation, they can defend, and everyone is among their carries.
Ben wasn't in that fight, separated by TOP. Sia chunked out during that fight. Gung gets a great bubble. You already talked about that earlier. He needs to look for those picks. He needs to look for the poke before he starts the fight. TOP got all of that. Their setup was actually quite good against Team WE, and now they have all the tools in their arsenal to try and take down Team WE. They've got a slight gold lead, about 1,500 gold. They've got 2.5 minutes of Baron buff to work with, a weakened bottom lane out of the turret. They could start trying to push closer to Team WE's base.
What I want to see them do is use that pushing power from the Baron buff and try to take over one side of WE's jungle. They can take a lot of resources where they're going to set up the ambush for the picks. WE's side, I would say just stay out. You know, just defend your towers. It's a Lucian pushing into you. He's not going to take high ground towers very easily, so be content for the game to go longer.
But the solution already has a Blade of the Rune King and Essence Reaper, 2 items in current meta that he actually needs. Essence Reaper has been changed, so his first auto attack after the culling is going to start that crazy dash around game that he likes to play. Reset the cooldowns of all his abilities quite nicely thanks to his passive. And TOP are feeling confident. They have their own banner of command that was picked up by Cat as the support, and they're pushing towards inhibitor turrets, slowly taking a beating by this turret.
Ooh. Very difficult to play in this form. W don't have good engage themselves. It's going to be incredibly hard to lock down on Chocho, and Marin's already going for the split push.
They're losing turrets. Mid lane in a turret taken down. Cat makes a nice micro play as well. Puts up the shield right in front of Thomas the Tank. Make sure that the banner of command Baron minion takes no damage from Team WE. Allows them to push through. They took down 3 turrets in the bottom lane back to back. Inhibitor's going to fall as well. And as you mentioned, the split push coming out from Marin nets them another 2 in the mid lane.
W are feeling the pain of the reduced tower HP on the map right now. They are a late game team, and our questions for them was, could they survive in this meta that forces you to fight early, that forces you to make a stand for yourself in River? And even though the early game was fine, it only takes one bad team fight for everything to go away, and it's too delicate for W to balance.
And in their debut for Summer Split, it's not looking good for Team WE. Not only is Imp and Crystal nowhere to be seen, the 2 ADKs we thought could play for Team WE with their full roster coming back, the likes of Condi as well as Ben.
Small correction, of course, their AD carry is Mystic.
That's right, Mystic. But on top of that, you're right. We haven't seen them adapt to the current meta yet. Bear in mind, this is only game 1. Things could change throughout the rest of this series. Things could change throughout week 1 and week 2 of the LPL. But it's similar to what we saw in Spring Split. They started with their roster, and slowly members disappeared, and WE fell from what was a semi-finalists at Worlds last year into a middle of the pack, close to the bottom of the table team in Spring Split this year.
They were lacking a lot of their players. Condi was gone for a while. Ben was benched because of performance issues. And W kind of fell apart. They were the team that were supposed to contest RNG. They were that other semi-finalist team that LPL sent to Worlds. And to be honest, this is a big rebuilding phase from them. We should not expect them to instantly go back to their former glory just because Condi has suddenly come back from a split without playing.
The start of this match looked good. Yes, TOP rejuvenated a little bit after the loss earlier in the week. XX had a good start to the match on Graves, got a priority pick for himself. Maran's joined the roster again. He's looked okay top side of the map. Yes, into a difficult matchup, but he's doing perfectly fine. Doing the role that his team needs to be. Got that good flank at Dragon. Was able to split push when they finally picked up Baron buff for themselves. And TOP are setting up the plays. They're not doing anything too cheeky, anything too cheesy. They're not capitalizing on mistakes, but instead creating their own opportunities. And they're doing the same thing top side of the map. Top lane in a turret gets taken down by TOP.
I really do like the way TOP is sieging onto W. W's composition does lack engage. So what TOP are doing is they're just setting up shop in front of the tower and slowly poking it down, daring W to come out of their composition. And even though they don't have the greatest pushing potential, they're still able to chip, still able to threaten away. They're not going for the 4-1, which has the potential danger of being engaged upon by the 5-man for W. They're just sticking together and slowly chipping.
But as we mentioned for Team W, even though it hasn't looked like they've done much during the early game, historically they have been that Elder Dragon team. 35 minutes is where you look at Team W and say, look, this is where they can try and take the game. One of the final elemental dragons is going to fall. Infernal gets taken down. There will be one more before that Elder Dragon. Mountain's the next one to spawn. But WE have the tools to scale. They've got a Jax, they have a Kai'Sa with a Lulu building not only Banner of Command, but Ardent Sensor as well. Zeke's Arbiter being picked up by their support of Ben. If they can hold on for about 7 to 8 more minutes, that 5,000 gold in that TOP have is not going to matter, but it seems like TOP are not going to let go of the pressure they have just yet. Still pushing for mid lane inhibitor.
They definitely aren't. They do have a lot of poke potential. Chocho with the S-Reaver is so mobile. He can sit right in front of a Hydra and start chipping away in that towers like he's been doing just before. I think if his mechanics are on point, he should be able to dodge out of Ben's WQ combo quite easily.
I mean, he has his 3 items. Black Cleaver was the final pickup for Chocho. Still waiting for the last to complete his build, but this is where Lucian is incredibly strong. We already talked about Essence Reaver and what it does for the champion. Now he's going to be able to shred the armor. People like 957, Condi, as well as Ben, making the front line less of a threat, something that's easier for TOP to kill.
And W really only have one tank in Ben to start the fight with them. They can't go in with 957, they can't go in with anyone else. So it's really easy to keep eyes on where the engage is coming from. So I think Chocho should be more confident in just walking up and start dealing more damage.
Yep. 957 can initiate, so can Condi. But not as beefy as Alistar being played by Ben. Rabadon's going to be picked up soon by Gentle. That would be a big item breakpoint for Team WWE. Going to get tagged by the W. But jumping into that cluster, TOP members would be a deathly sentence for Gentle. They do slowly repel TOP pushing them forward, but waiting in the wings, waiting on Pokemon, throwing out Sleepy Trouble bubbles. Next Cap tries to jump to a minion as well, tag CS, sidestepped by the mid laner of Team WE, waiting for more objectives to respawn, keeping pressure in the mid lane, making sure that W are stuck in their base. They can recall, pick up some items. They take Scuttlecrab for themselves to look at Baron, and that could be the next objective that these two teams fight over.
Such a tense moment right there from Xia, dodging out on 2 skill shots, the Sleepy Trouble bubble coming in from Magoon, and also dodging the Braum Winter's Bite as well to keep his team alive. But that's the scenario that TOP are going to put him through over and over again. Just like you said, if you look at the jungle right now, what W is doing is that they're trying to control this side and give themselves an easier path where they can check the Baron.
They've cleared out as much. And it seems like 957 is on split push duty, stuck on the bottom side of the map. He'll slowly clear out all those minions, going towards an Essence Reaver himself of Jax. They'll make of his incredibly stupid, I'm going to say. You'll get that up a couple of times over the course of a team fight. But TOP, they put up the pressure. W were not able to repel. It looks like they want to try and scale into the late game. And TOP is slowly regaining control of the red side of the jungle, setting up for a Baron play, potentially a push onto one of the inhibitor turrets, or bottom lane inhibitor, which is left wide open. No turret left there.
So what's going to happen? TOP are going to control the red side of the jungle, but I think we might see the Son of Baron pop off again. Condi is known for his Baron steals, and in this scenario, he's pretty much the only hope WE have for coming back in the game.
But they've caught out Marin. First knocker comes out of Ben. 957 looks to collapse. Marin says, I'm happy to fight. Ben flashing away from the fight that comes out from Aatrox. TOP get a summoner spell. They try and take ball from WE. WE wanted to find that pick. It would help them out so much to stall this game. Doesn't work out.
Definitely. Aatrox with full stacks on his Blood Bowl is able to get that revive. So he was very brave going into the 1v2, not scared of WE's threats at all. But W is taking a risk here. In order to go to Baron, they need to go through the mid lane, push it up, and then head through the mid lane rush. They know their jungle is compromised.
Has been tagged by Kai'Sa, getting jumped in that champion if he wants to. Marin was forced back to